Hey y'all, so this is Lauren Marvin, and I am starting a series here with this video where I really wanted to break out the focus of this particular series around the critical nature of dealing with emotions for everyone, for sure, but in particular for those of us with neurodivergence, autism, and any issues that come up that would have a play in our emotional dysregulation, all these kinds of things. And so this is where I want to start. So I want to give a broad overview of why the priority in an autistic person's life as they begin to grow up, as the complexities of both their interactions, their responsibilities in some cases, their abilities, and what those may bring their way begins to become more complex, right? And so when those things happen for an autistic person, they've been spending their whole life working towards, really fitting in that level of interaction that came up to that point. And sometimes doing it very successfully, sometimes getting by the skin of our teeth, and those kinds of things. And so, with that in mind, there is this task that not all of us know need to become such priority. I know I didn't know for the longest time in my life, and there are specific consequences that come along with not having the insight into why it's so critical for autistic people to prioritize their emotional processing, especially as they begin to engage deeper and deeper into our culture that is designed around interactions that demand compartmentalization of what our personal beliefs may be in a situation, like all these things that we do just to allow ourselves to function in society, and then how much that takes from an autistic person that is trying to do their best to fit into those particular routines for everyone else and for their comfort for the most part as well, so that they can be at ease and feel free to speak naturally, to not hyperfixate on small things that are going on with an autistic person as they're regulating sometimes their body movements during the day, or all kinds of things that they do and have overcome to be successful in the world out there, right? So I really do want to get into that as a topic, and about how if one doesn't take on that task of understanding the prioritization of emotional processing, how damaging that can be both for themselves in creating quick cycles to burnout or escapism, and the kinds of things that come with being under high performance expectations in sometimes situations, but not actually addressing the toll that takes on one in the time when they're not in those situations, or limiting those situations, or whatever it may take to build a more balanced kind of lifestyle. And for autistic folks, we know it kind of ends up in meltdown. It kind of ends up in falling apart, cracking up, and those kinds of things. And a lot of times it may be in public, let alone amongst those that we love and have built relationships where we don't want them to see the aspects of ourselves that maybe others have shamed us for in the past, or we just feel shameful in our own right because of what we know society has really responded to in the past with us, the things that we've internalized as well. So I do want to focus in on those particularly, and also just kind of introduce that I want this series to have some of the specific challenges that come along with autism and dealing with emotions. Sometimes the insinuation may be from the outside world that, we can't feel emotions and these kinds of things, which is hilariously and hyper absurd in the opposite direction for the most part. But understandably, where it expresses itself confusingly to others comes through many of the things that I want to focus on. Some of those would be alexithymia, masking, cognitive load in any situation, the processing time particularly, and really delving into what that means, difficulty orienting ourselves and transitioning from one motivational orientation to another motivational orientation in any situation, and how it is a must for it to happen, but is rarely recognized or addressed with neurotypicals. Then there's the developmental delay aspect of things, the ability and inability to really use your brain to process things in a way with your emotions that is healthy. Never having trained, never having anyone around maybe that was comfortable enough to do those things with you. And lastly, also one of the aspects that is very important for us both as families, as adults, and as the children, that is also a challenge in this area, is just the despair that comes along with growing older, going out in a world that sometimes isn't as accepting as it needs to be, but also just in personal observations about what people hold of value and what we can undeniably see as empty. Like, these kinds of things are sometimes very inherent to neurodiverse individuals, and it creates a need to address depression and anxiety in ways that are a part of our nervous system to begin with, and so have to become a focus. All right, so I'm going to leave you with that. This is the first of this series. Just wanted to introduce kind of the topics, the realities that come along with the expansiveness. This will work for all individuals, as we all have a very, very big need to address our emotions as a part of how we balance ourselves to be able to operate in any other function for the day. And so there will be plenty of good tidbits for everyone here, whether you're autistic, whether you're not autistic, whether you're a parent looking for insights into your teenagers, your adolescents, whether you're a youngster or a young adult who is just struggling to figure out why you're not able in situations to fit in, and what we can do about those things, where we can go, how we can feel about it, how we can support each other. So, all right, y'all, until next time, peace and we out.